ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। श्लोक नंबर 63। श्री गुरुरुवाच सत्यमुक्तम्। श्री गुरुरुवाच सत्यमुक्तं त्वया विद्वन् निपुणोऽसि विचारणे अहमादिविकारास्ते तदभावोऽयमप्यनु सर्वे येनानुभूयन्ते यस्वयं नानुभूयते तमात्मानं वेदितारम् विद्धि बुद्ध्या सुसूक्ष्मया जाग्रत्स्वप्नसुषुप्तिषु स्फुटतरं योऽसौ समुजृम्भते प्रत्यग्रूपतया सदाहमहमिति अन्तःस्फुरन्नेकधा नानाकारविकारभाजिनः इमान् पश्यन् अहं धीमुखान् नित्यानन्दचिदात्मना स्फुरति तं विद्धि स्वमेतं हृदि ब्रह्मा भिन्नत्वविज्ञानम् भवमोक्षस्य कारणम् येनाद्वितीयमानन्दम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते बुधैः सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म विशुद्धं परं स्वतः सिद्धं नित्यानन्दैकरसं प्रत्यगभिन्नं निरन्तरं जयति
nirantaraṃ jayati.
Yeah. So, last class we saw that Shankaracharya used the word Brahma, I think for the first time. And of course, previous shloka was there. Brahma abhinnatva vijnanam was there in shloka number 66. And that defines exactly what our goal is also. Brahma abhinnatva vijnanam. The knowledge of Atma being not different from Brahma. The most popular idea in this world is the idea of God. The believer believes in God, the non-believer does not believe in God. Therefore, God is pretty famous. For everybody he is famous. The atheist also makes God famous. The theist also makes the God, I suppose there is a word called theist, also makes the God famous. And famous and puts the God away also. The God that is not here but away from us is the guy, is the entity that people are talking about. But here Shankara says, Brahma abhinnatva vijnanam. Sarvam kalu idam Brahma. Everything here is Brahma, including God also. Whatever idea of God you have is also Brahma only. And this Atma is non-different from Brahma. This is a major thesis of Advaita Vedanta, which people have been trying to refute. We have all kinds of Purva Pakshis. Shankara in some places will go on, and he will not let go. He will say something. Then he acts like he says, he brings in an objection. Objection 1, objection 2, objection 3, objection 4. Brahma Sutram, Tattu Samanvayat. Fourth sutra is Tattu Samanvayat. Okay. And Tattu Samanvayat. Vedavyasa is saying, hey, there is Samanvaya with all the Shastra, all the Granthas that are there. All the Upanishads are talking about the same thing. Like that, Vedavyasa wants to prove. And he writes one sutra, Tattu Samanvayat. That's all he says. Now Shankaracharya is writing a commentary on this sutra. Now it is Shankaracharya's job to go into Vyasa's mind and then write all the things that went on in Vyasa's mind. And this commentary, this Bhashyam, runs into pages and pages, some 20-30 pages. And Swamiji's explanation of it, if you add, it will go to one whole 200 pages it is. And all because of this only. Because of confusion. And there he is quoting an Upanishad Vakyam, and then he says this is what it is, and then he brings one Purva Pakshi after other. Constantly he brings in, and you will wonder, oh, I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that. Purva Pakshi says, wait a minute, this is all Siddha Vastu. Atma is Siddha Vastu. It is already existing thing. So you can't gain all that we are saying, Siddha Vastu. This gaining, producing, all that is a result of karma. And you are saying karma cannot produce moksha. But everything is Siddha Vastu, he says. This book also is Siddha Vastu. Is it Siddha Vastu or not? It is here right now in front of me. All objects are Siddha Vastu only. Then what is Atma? How is Atma special? Siddha Vastu. It is also another Siddha Vastu. Like that, questions Shankara will ask. Even Purva Pakshi will not have thought of this doubt. Shankara will bring it in. That is how this our study is. So, that is why I am saying here, Brahma abhinnatva vijnanam bhava mokshasya karanam. That is the only cause of moksha from samsara. That he says that there. And then last class we saw this satyaṃ jñānamanantaṃ brahma. And we saw several nuances of how to understand a statement and what the common understanding of things are. And all our understanding is finite. In the realm of finite, we are experts, total experts. We can come up with newer and newer things also. AI has come up. Everything is within this finite realm only. And Shastram is trying to unfold the infinite. Now how? How? And it turns out when you start explaining the infinite, words are not sufficient. Every word is conditioned. Every word you hear is conditioned. Even the word Brahma you hear, it's another word only. How am I supposed to understand the word Brahma? It won't work. Nothing will work. So that whole deconditioning process, that is why Vedanta is a slow process. We have to soak ourselves in it. Simply saying the word eternal is not enough. Or nityam. We use the words, but making sure we understand the word nityam is the goal of Vedanta. Once nityam is understood, then the game is over. That is what this satyaṃ jñānamanantaṃ brahma is an ingenious way to express that reality of Brahma. The word Brahma, we saw an adjective converted into a noun. Adjective converted into a noun. You see, in our language, in all languages actually, they say clay pot. Clay pot. Even in Sanskrit it's called a clay pot. So mritika, ghataha and all we will say. Golden bangle. Golden chain. Golden ring. Gold is an adjective to bangle. Bangle is noun. Bangle is noun. But my God, it is the opposite of reality. Do you realize it's opposite of reality? Because you melt this bangle, the gold will stare at you. You melt the chain, gold will stare at you. Gold is always there, sitting there, and like sitting there like a something that sits there all the time. I forget that word for it. But so it is sitting there all the time. Gold was there before and it is always going to be there also. That is why gold becomes the what do you call that? Currency and all pegged around gold, they used to say. That's how gold became the pegging entity long ago between countries and all that. And so with that being the case, gold was there before, now it became bangle. So what should you say? You should say bangly gold. Bangly gold is the correct statement. That is the correct understanding, really speaking. Ringy gold, bangly gold. Chainy gold. That is the correct statement. But we have converted a noun into an adjective and an adjective into a noun. This is the human ingenuity. Then Shastram has to come. Now Shastram is important. Why? You stupid people. No, not like that. Shastram will never say stupid people and all. Why? Matri Sahasra Hitaishini. She is like 1,000 mothers. If one mother is compassionate, you can imagine how compassionate 1,000 mothers will be. But Shankara will say, Manda Buddhi and all they will say. Manda buddhi. Manda buddhi means that's it. Buddhi is supposed to be used. This fellow just watching TV and WhatsApp all day long, buddhi has become manda. That's it. And so, this is the situation. And so that we saw last time. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Simply saying existence won't work, because existence, our idea of existence is dependent on objects, and we say objectless existence is Satyam. Jnanam. Again, objectless consciousness. I am only conscious of things. So, of something. Conscious means you will ask conscious of what? Of what? Of what? Of what? Hey, this is objectless consciousness. Can you imagine that? And it is Anantam also. Like that we saw it last time. Okay. So this whole sampradaya. Now you see how sampradaya is important. Sampradaya is to communicate the so-called infinite. The word infinite itself has finite in it, and finite, I know, and non-finite. You have to say non-finite, because it's not within what I know. It is nothing like, it's not going to be anything like what I know. That is infinite. And so, it is a huge paradigm shift. I like the word, this phrase, paradigm shift. Paradigm shift means what? It is completely turning the envelope inside out. That is the situation we are in. And so we saw that Visheshana Visheshya Sambandha, adjective noun relationships that we are all familiar with, is now elevated to the status of Lakshana Lakshya Sambandha. This is where real definition and characteristics of defined definition relationship comes here. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. That we saw last time. I don't want to repeat everything. And that Satyam Brahma is Anantam Brahma, Jnanam Brahma is Anantam Jnanam Brahma, or Anantam Brahma. So that word Anantam is critical there. We saw all that. And in the satsang there was a question after the class, last class. What is the connection between Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma and Sat Chit Ananda? Some of you remember that, correct? Remember that question? Yeah, it was there. That's a fair question. It's an obvious question, in fact. We know in our heart of hearts that both have to mean the same thing. Both have to mean same means what? Satyam of Satyam Jnanam Anantam should be same as Sat of Satchidananda. Jnanam from here should be Chit from here, and Anantam from here should be Ananda from here. But we have to explore it a little. So, let's look at Chaitanya. Chaitanya. Chit. Chit means Chaitanya. Of Satchidananda. Whenever I say I know something, okay, whenever I say I know something, there is a consciousness of that thing. In my mind, there is consciousness of that. Book. There is book consciousness. Book is there, all right, but book consciousness is here. I am conscious of the book. Tree consciousness. Laptop consciousness. Brother consciousness. Sister consciousness. Hunger consciousness is there. Hungry is there, okay, but hunger consciousness. Knowledge, I am aware of hunger. I am aware of the existence of the book. I am aware of existence of my brother, of my sister. So, the knowledge of every object presupposes the consciousness of the object. Let me repeat that. Knowledge of every object presupposes means is necessarily preceded by the consciousness of that object. You have to be conscious of the object in order to even utter anything about the object. I know, I recognize, I am aware of, I am clear about, I am confused about. Yeah, you have to be aware of that about before you say I am confused about. So all that is consciousness only. These are all, I am conscious of the object, conscious of this object, that object. But suppose you remove the object consciousness minus object. What is there? Is there anything or not? You will be forced to say, eventually, consciousness has to be there. Consciousness has to be there, available only then I can say I am conscious of something. Okay, that is that invariable consciousness which is Chaitanyam. You say table consciousness. Table consciousness is not possible without your knowledge of wood. Now I am doing a slightly different thinking. Wood consciousness has to be there for table consciousness even to be there. You can't even think of table without thinking of some material. Without thinking of some. I am talking about thinking itself. I am not talking about the table that is there in front of you. Table that is in front of you, of course, is not possible without wood. But even in thought, you cannot think of table without thinking of some material. Okay, this is implied. It is there. So, table consciousness depends on wood consciousness. Wood consciousness depends on pulp consciousness. Pulp consciousness depends on cellulose consciousness. And so, cellulose consciousness depends on whatever constituents are there in cellulose, that consciousness. Outside also it is true. In my head also it is true. That means all this wood consciousness, table consciousness, etc. is there. Wood consciousness minus wood, table consciousness minus table, if you do, all that will be left is consciousness. That consciousness is Chaitanyam. That consciousness is Chaitanyam. That is what enables me to be conscious of anything. That is what enables me to be aware of anything. Awareness and consciousness are the same word, synonyms in Vedanta. They are not two different things. But unfortunately, I got caught up with the things that I am aware of, not knowing this awareness itself, which is my essential nature, which is what he is saying here, Chaitanyam. Chit means Chaitanyam. So, how to understand Chaitanyam? Object consciousness minus object. That invariable awareness, invariable consciousness. Why invariable? Because everything is variable. That I am conscious of is constantly varying. Even as you are listening to these words, constant vrittis are happening. I know, I don't know, I follow this, I didn't follow that. Can you repeat it again? Everything constant, going on and on. Variable. What I am aware of is always variable. Awareness is invariable. That invariable consciousness is Chaitanyam. Then connection between Jnanam and Chaitanyam, that is what it is. Jnanam is knowledge. Chaitanyam is what makes me know. We talked about knowledge, wood knowledge, table knowledge, everything is knowledge only. But this knowledge is objectless knowledge. Like I said, objectless consciousness, this is objectless knowledge. And that is also consciousness only. The word Jnanam is used there. Here the word Chaitanyam is used. That is the only difference. And that is what knowledge, when people say knowledge of what, immediate question comes. Consciousness, if somebody says conscious of what? This of what has to be removed. That is why they say Chaitanya Swarupam, Jnana Swarupam. In fact, Tattvabodhakara, in the Tattvabodha text, Chit Kim, student is asking. And you know what he says? Jnana Swarupam. If you go back to your notes, Tattvabodha notes. Jnana Swarupam, he says. It is the Swarupa, it is the basis, it is the Adhishtanam of knowledge itself. That which makes you know. Okay, so that is Jnanam versus Chaitanyam. Okay. And Sat. Sat Kim, student is asking the question in Tattvabodha. Sat Kim. What is Sat? Tell me. Like that he says. Because earlier the teacher had said Satchidananda Swarupa Sannyatishtati Sa Atma. Like that he had defined Atma. In that definition of Atma, the Satchidananda has come. Therefore now the student is taking word by word and asking questions. Starting from Stulastara. This one, Sariratrayam he said. And therefore he asked Stula Shariram Kim, Sukshma Shariram Kim, Karana Shariram Kim, then Swapna Avastha Kim, Jagrad Avastha Kim, this Sushupti Avastha Kim, like that big list of questions. Finally is come down to this Satchidananda, because that word comes a bit later in the sentence, and therefore Sat Kim he is asking. Sat Kim. Obviously the student has to ask the question. He responds, Kalatrayepi yattishtati tat sat. That which exists in all three periods of time is Sat. This is a problem, because we are only aware of things that exist in time. And Shastram is trying to tell you something that is independent of time is Sat. And so, Shastra. So that's what. You take a seed. You see a seed. Then the seed is sprouting. And the sprout has come, and slowly it has become a small plant and a big plant, and then it is becoming a bigger plant, and now it is looking like a tree. Now it is almost a tree. Now you say it is a tree. Like this it's growing. Seed is, sprout is, small plant is, big plant is, very big plant is, small tree is, medium tree is, big tree is, tree with flowers is, tree with fruits is. What is constant in all of these things? I see only change. I see change. You take a video of all these things, and then you say this tree has been there for a long time. No, this tree has not been there for a long time. Do you know why? Because it is changing. Every day it is changing, every hour it is changing, every minute it is changing, every second it is changing. But that change is not visible to our eye, so it says it is the same tree. No, it's not the same tree. It is not the same tree. Change is all you can perceive. You cannot perceive changelessness. Guaranteed. We all take things for granted. Things don't change. Because the same house. Sometimes we want change. Political change we want. But it feels like there is no political change, right? And it's the same fellow. You have to just kick this fellow out. When? So, time will come. So, like this, the mountains are there. Same mountain only. Our grandparents, whatever mountain they saw, is the mountain we are seeing today also. Yes and no also. Yes means just naam ke vaste yes. But really no. The mother told the son, you are not the same son. Who was born to me and whom I took to school and educated. Like that she was saying furiously. And the son looks at the mom and said, Mom, you're not the same mom who gave birth to me. Like that he also says. Yeah, both are correct. And took me to school. You're not that same mom. You're now a different mom. Why? Because everything has changed. It's constantly changing. At least this human change we don't realize until we get arthritis. And every morning the body reminds you that you have an elbow. It reminds you. You have knuckles. There is something called knuckle. Until now you didn't know you had knuckles. Then doctor says there is a heart murmur is there. Murmur? Heart murmur? That's when you realize heart. Then only you Google about heart. Until then, did anybody Google heart? You please tell me. Be honest. Then heart. Then you all ventricle. All the things we studied in college. Suddenly it comes now. What is the use of learning all this now? Just because you become heart knowledgeable, will your health improve or what? Well, we think that the more you know about these things, the better you can take care of yourself, the better you appreciate all the medicines the doctor has given you, and you can feel good about it. So, this kind of change is happening. And what is the constant if somebody asks? Is there something that doesn't change? If somebody asks what? Yes. You told seed is, you said this sprout is, you said small plant is, you said all this is. The sentence itself gives you the answer. And the answer is what is constant. That is Sat. Existence. We use an English word existent. Satta in Sanskrit it's called Satta. Satta means existence. Awareness is what? Spurti. They use the word Spurti. Spurti. You know, this Dharma Vidya course, we suggested 4 books, and everybody, all the 65 people who registered, paid us that 1,500 rupees. And then we transferred the money to this Purna Vidya Foundation, who is publishing these 4 books. Basics on Hindu Dharma and all. Okay, there are 12 volumes, 16 volumes are there. And, 12 volumes are there. And so I just recommended 3-4 volumes for reading purposes. And the publisher's name is Spurti Publishing. I have not seen this word Spurti in a long time. Spurti Publishing. Anyway, that is just by the way. So that Satta is what is constant. Existence. And who is that existence? We saw that last time. That existence, Brahma is Satyam and Atma is Sat. Yeah, good. That same Sat has to be. This Satyam has to be the same Sat. It can't be 2 different Sattas. Sats. Same Satta. And therefore, if I know Atma, I know Brahma. And that's what we said last time. Aparoksha Jnanam. When that girl says, oh my God, this is jackfruit, she now got Aparoksha Jnanam. She converted Paroksha Jnanam to Aparoksha Jnanam. No longer for that girl, it is that jackfruit knowledge is Paroksha Jnanam. No longer. Because she saw it. She saw it. So, existence. Look at another example. Somebody says, I am cooking. Or he is cooking. Somebody is saying he is cooking. He's cooking, he says. Then half an hour later, they ask, where is he? He is cooking. He's cooking? Cooking means present tense, correct? Vartamana kalaha, lat lakaraha, present tense, present. But half an hour back also you said he's cooking. Now also he's cooking. Yeah, he's cooking. Cooking takes a long time, It's not simple. Especially all these demanding people are around. It takes some time. So then what? Wait a minute. When you say I'm cooking, there is so much cooked. Cooking. But then also you are cooking. And before also you are cooking. Cooking. There is a lot more to be cooked also is going to come in the cooking. So what is the duration of cooking? I start cooking at 5 in the evening. I finish at 6:30 in the evening. Okay. Then what is the present? What is the present, you tell me? There is so much past in your present. There is so much future going to come in the present. And everything you are saying cooking means what? Cutting vegetables is cooking? Yes, it's cooking only. Part of cooking. Now he says part of cooking. Now he is broadening his idea. Now what about washing the vegetables? What about boiling the rice? Yeah, that also is part of cooking. So cooking is just one big conglomerate here. And then it has all kinds of activities and ordered in a particular way. Everything include, I call cooking. I'm cooking, wait, I'm cooking, wait, I'm cooking, wait. So then, okay, present tense means what? Then, okay, let's talk about grammar then. What is present tense? Present tense means that which is happening now is present tense. Okay, then so much cooked is gone. Now also, no, what to do? I'm cooking now only. And I'm cooking only. Okay, that is present tense. So then what is the duration of the present tense? You can't say 2 hours is the duration of present tense because there's a lot of past tense in the present tense. There is so much past tense in the present tense. You can't say 2 hours. You can only say at this moment I'm cooking. Then that moment is gone. And so that is past. Again, future, one moment has come and become present. That present is I'm cooking, you can say. Say means you are analyzing. So then what is the duration of that present then? Is it 1 second? No, it is less than that. Microsecond is 1,000th of a second. Can you call that as present? That also can be divided. And so, what we say is the durationless present. The durationless present is Sat. What is the durationless present? Don't get tense when you're talking about. That's why I told you. If you analyze present tense, you can become tense also sometimes. But without becoming tense, we are analyzing present tense. And that durationless present. They say be in the present and all that. Be in the present. That's a little different. But you have to appreciate that durationless present. That is existence. That is Sat. Which is also the satyam of satyam jnanam anantam. Which is the satyam of every object in this world. Every object is mithya. The truth of every object is satyam. And that satyam is the same as this Sat, which is the durationless present. They all can't be different. Consciousness is different. Existence is different. Like that, if you go, how many things are there? There is only Atma. Atma itself is not different from Brahma. Where is the question of Sat being different from Chit, being different from Anantam, being different from Ananda and all? Not possible. But these are ways to understand these words. And because my idea of present tense is always duration filled present tense, I cannot understand. Difficult for me to grasp the duration less present. And Shastra wants to convey to us the duration less present. That only is present. And that present is only there. There is nothing else also, really speaking. Past is just an idea. Past is an idea. Correct? We saw it last time also. Time is an idea. Time is an idea. Useful idea, you can say. But it is also the bane of human samsara. If I become a victim of time, if I think time is absolutely real, I am going to be finished by time. I am going to be finished by that which I project. Until I come to the point that I am free from time. I am the guy who gives satta to time. Look at this. I am Atma that gives satta to time. Time exists, I exist. Time does not exist, I exist. This is the truth of time. In deep sleep, I say goodbye to time. Time doesn't exist. Time is a concept, and no concept exists during deep sleep, including time. Time vanishes during deep sleep. So therefore, what can be the present? It can't be a duration filled. It can't be a duration. Present can't have a duration. Okay. That idea is important to think about. And so, then Ananda is there. I forgot about Ananda. What is the connection between Ananta and Ananda? That is not difficult to understand also. Our idea of Ananda is experiential. Means constantly, I was sad, I was happy, I was frustrated, I was okay, I was anxious, I am calm. These are the only words we use to express our state of mind. The joyful state of mind. I am happy. So, our idea of Ananda is all based on an experience. Same thing, existence. Based on an object only, object exists. Knowledge also, based on an object only, I am talking about knowledge of an object. Ananda also is like that. Triggered by something. This is the only idea of Ananda we have. Experiential Ananda. Experiential joy. I am happy now, I am not happy now. That's all I can say. And this goes on and on and on. But then Shastram is trying to say, wait. No object can really produce Ananda because it is Jadam. It is Jadam means it is inert. No object can produce Ananda, period. You can produce anything in this universe but not Ananda. Not existence. Not consciousness. Okay, come back to Ananda. Ananda also cannot be produced. If Ananda could be produced, we would be getting, like gas cylinders are being delivered, Ananda cylinders will come delivered to us, correct? And then all you have to do is do something. They must come up with a system to get that Ananda. Not possible. Impossible. People are trying their best. That is why this entertainment industry is the best industry to be in. Best industry. Because people are just looking for entertainment, something different to do. And the guy who comes up with something different will become a millionaire very quickly. Because people are waiting and standing in line. They are bored with this. But the boredom is another problem. So you can't keep doing the same thing again and again. So somebody waiting. And that joy, I want some other way to get this joy. Shastram says, wait. What really happened? You say that particular ride gave you this ride gave you joy. Ride gave you joy. That is just superficial, really speaking. Ride has killed people also. Ride cannot give joy, really speaking. But it's your state of mind. At that time, you were unaware of anything. You were not even aware that you were having a ride. That's why it is called ecstasy. That total lack of awareness of myself, what I am enjoying, and the knowledge of what I'm enjoying, everything vanishes. The Tripiti vanishes. When the Tripiti vanishes in the head, what remains is Atma, which is Ananda Swarupaha. That Ananda is shining. That is what you call Ananda. So what this ride did is it gave you the circumstances. It created the circumstances in which this Tripiti can vanish. That is what all the drugs also do. Drugs do the same thing. No, and if you say drugs give me Ananda means what? Everybody should go after drugs or what? That nobody will accept. And so therefore, when the Tripiti vanishes, all that is left is Anantam. There is no boundary at all. All the things are all artificial boundaries. Book is an artificial thing. Tree is an artificial boundary. It's not boundary drawn. Nobody, there is no book that says this is the boundary and all. It is our own boundaries. Boundaries created by us. And then in this experience, all those boundaries which were created by us vanish. And when the boundaries vanish, all that remains is boundaryless Ananda. And that boundarylessness is Anantam. Because Anantam means what? Where there is no boundary is Anantam. That which has no boundary. Space-wise unlimited is Ananta. And therefore Ananda, Ananta are not two different things. You think it is experience, Ananta, no, they are not two different things. They are the same thing. Somebody said, he said, I have experienced timelessness, now I want to experience spacelessness. Now we got to get to the bottom of this. Timelessness, spacelessness. You see, every day when we are sleeping, when that sleep is deep sleep, short time or long time doesn't matter. The deep sleep, all of us have that experience. During that sleep, time vanishes. There is the so-called experience of timelessness. Timelessness. That is why everybody wants that experience, more and more of that experience. Now look at another example I am going to give you. Your long lost friends, you were friends with them, and then your children grew up in the same school, they were all friends playing with each other, suddenly cut off for some 10 years. You are on phone talking this, that, and then they all come home. Our children are there, their children are there in the same home. Your home they have visited. They are there, you are there. And they have decided to spend the next 3-4 days here only. For them and for you, there is no better vacation than this. Why no better vacation? Now it will tell you. Now look at what's happening. And the kids are all playing and they have their own common things they are doing. Parents have their own common things they are talking about, the past and the present and the future, everything they are talking about, common interests. There is this kind of a marriage is not possible anywhere. And then after 4 days, suddenly they say we have to leave. And you know what the children will do? They will throw a tantrum. They will not let go of this. Tantrums will be there. And even parents are asking, what happened? 4 days have passed already, he says. You know why 4 days? You don't know? That means what? Timelessness. I am unaware of time. When things are good, I become unaware of time. When things are to my liking, I've lost track of time completely. Lost track of time. That is what it is. This is what timelessness is. That means when I am just my own self and there is just pure joy emanating, there is no time. This is our common experience. That's why children don't understand the concept of time, and you keep telling them it's time already, 7 o'clock, your homework is due. They hate that statement. They just hate it. This homework and this time, if the fellow may even throw the clock off somewhere. But he doesn't realize, later on he will realize this, whether you throw the clock or not, time is 7 o'clock. Homework will not go away just by throwing the clock. So that timelessness. And so then what happened? There is now a hankering for that experience of timelessness. And after studying Vedanta, now this hankering becomes there. Oh, I also want to experience the timeless. Hey, Vedanta teachers, it is their job to tell them, hey, you have experienced timelessness every day. I am not here to teach you to experience timelessness. Nowhere in the Upanishad it says you sit and experience timelessness. How can I teach you to experience timelessness? I am here to tell you that you are the timelessness. That is what the subject of Vedanta is. Shankara is writing text after text to talk about this. Nowhere he says this is the posture in which you should sit and close your eyes and think of this Devata and that Devata, and then you will experience timelessness. If that he had said that, I would have taught you all that. We would have learnt all those things. Anytime you are happy, you are experiencing timelessness only. And that also is within quotes you have to say, because timelessness is you. And you can't experience yourself. You are the experiencer, not the experienced object. If you want to experience timelessness, then you want to convert timelessness into an object. That's when I can experience it. But you can't. There is no object that is timeless. Every object is subject to time. Kala parichinnaha, we say it, that is part of our definition. It is subject to time. It is subject to space. Desha parichinnaha. Then how can I experience spacelessness? For that I have an idea. There is some powder, white powders I can give you, and I can give you this also, and then you can experience spacelessness. That is why they call you, this guy is spaced out. Spaced out, correct? Spaced out means what? Guy has just lost it. He doesn't know where he is at all. Just doesn't know at all. Spaced out. No idea of space. Where I am, who I am, nothing known, gone. Everything is gone. Spaced out. And I love that experience, therefore I want it again. That's why this goes back. That's why addiction starts. Addiction comes from that one. The desire for that experience. And then they have drugs like ecstasy and all that. Abba, there's just so much going on out there. So, where is the question of experiencing when Shastram doesn't talk about it? Who came up with all these things? It's all neo stuff. People who don't understand talk about all these things. Hey, you meditate. In meditation, you will be aware fully, not thinking of anything. That is spacelessness, because there is no idea. No object means no space limitation. No time also. No object means no time also. Time and space always go together. Please keep this in mind. Time and space go together. So, no time also. And because of that, the experience is great. And therefore, I want to experience it again. Correct? The purpose of this kind of nirvikalpa samadhi is to appreciate that you are not the mind. You are not the mind. Because mind thoughts also you eliminated. That means who are you? You are something that is independent of thought. That is what Vedanta wants you to understand. That is why mind is put in the category of Sukshma Shariram. And who are you? You are Sharira Trayat Anyam. Somewhere we saw Anyam. Not here. Atma Bodha. Sharira Tritayat Anyam, he says. Atmanam Vidhi, he says. So where is the question of experience? Experience is part of samsara. Okay, suppose I say I experience timelessness. Then what? Now are you experiencing timelessness? No, I experienced it 4 days ago. Okay, you experienced it 4 days ago. Good. Then now what? No, time is still there. I am experiencing timefulness. And that too, when you are talking, Guruji, this is so tense it is, and I am really experiencing time because I am looking at my clock also, when it is going to get over. So I am really aware of time. So then 3 days you were not aware of time, or 30 minutes you were not aware of time. Now you are aware of time. Then what is moksha? Moksha is timelessness. Oh, so the 30 minutes you got moksha, correct? That 30 minutes was moksha for you. Now what happened? You came out of moksha? Wow! Your moksha is great. We are looking for nitya moksha, that is permanent moksha. You whenever you want moksha, you can go to moksha. Whenever you want to come out, you can come out of moksha. Hey, that kind of moksha, I wish my Guruji had taught me. I also love that kind of moksha. Just choice-based moksha. Hey, moksha is not like that. Shankara brings up this argument in his commentary. He says, the Vaisheshika also wants Nitya Moksha only. The Naiyayika also wants Nitya Moksha. His definition of moksha is Nitya only. He has some funny idea of moksha, but that is Nitya. And this Sankhya also wants Nitya Moksha, and this Yogikas also want Nitya Moksha. Purva Mimamsakas also want Nitya Moksha. Everybody wants Nitya Moksha only. Not coming and going moksha. If it is coming and going, then what is it? It is a result of karma, agama payi. Therefore, through karma, if you got some experience, then it will be agama payi. It will be coming and going. Don't connect that with this timelessness that Shastram is talking about. This Ananda and Sat and Chit Shastram is talking about. That is the experience, and you call it timelessness. Means what? You are unaware of time. Correct. I agree with you with that. You are unaware of time. We are unaware of time. This family I told you is unaware of time. If they were aware of time, they will tell you. The guy will say, hey, you got only 2 more days left. 1 more day left. They have this ticking down thing. Clock is ticking. No, not aware of time. Which is good. When you're having fun like that, you should just have fun. That's it. Be unaware of time. That's good. That way the enjoyment is complete. You're really in it. So therefore, I want to experience spacelessness and all. In Vedanta text, such a thing doesn't exist. Why? Because you are spaceless. You are timeless. Atma is kala aparichinnaha. Atma is desha aparichinnaha. Atma is vastu aparichinnaha. And that's what our Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswami gives the definition of Anantam. Look at how he defines Anantam. Deshataha, kalataha, vastutaha cha paricheda shunyam, he says. This absence, shunyam, of paricheda, limitation. What kind of limitation? Desha, kala and vastu. These are the only 3 limitations possible. Like that he says. And so, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam and Sat, Chit, Ananda are the same things. Not only Satyam here, same as Satyam here, Jnanam here, same as Chaitanyam or Chit here, and Anantam here, same as Ananda here, but Sat and Chit are also same. Sateva Chit, Chideva Sat. They can't be 2 different things. Okay, let me be Sat for a while, then I'll be Chit for a while, then I will be Ananda for a while. No, it is not like that. That is Atma. Satchidananda Rupaha San Yaha Tishtati Sa Atma. Like that, Tattvabodhakara had defined long ago. So, that is just to answer those questions. That's something we have to think about. And here, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, viśuddhaṃ, paraṃ, svataḥ, siddham. Viśuddhaṃ, we are now come back to we are always in the shloka only, and we are moving from Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam to next one. Viśuddhaṃ. Viśuddhaṃ, Atma is Viśuddhaṃ, he says. This idea of clean, unclean, tidy, not tidy, dirtied, not dirtied, this kind of idea is there in our head. And he says, remove that idea completely. Atma, you cannot bring the idea of Shuddham, Ashuddham at all. Therefore, it is Viśuddhaṃ. It cannot Atma, even though Atma is all pervasive. Everything, Jagat is Atma. Atma is not Jagat. Like pot is clay. Why? Because there is no part of the pot which is not clay. Pot is clay, but clay is not pot. Viśuddhaṃ. Clay is not affected by all the problems of the pot. Viśuddhaṃ. Clay doesn't have punya papa. Atma doesn't have punya papa. It is punya papa rahitam, viśuddhaṃ. That kind of malam is not there. That is why Atma can be called nirmalaha. Viśuddhaṃ. Okay, then what? Paraṃ. Shankaracharya is packing all these words. He said, you are all now experts in Sthula Shariram and Sukshma Shariram. And even Karana Shariram you figured out. So now we'll figure out Atma. He says Paraṃ. Alright, Paraṃ also we are used to. It can mean limitless. Paraṃ can mean limitless. Or it can also mean, the definition, Shastric definition is Maya Atitam. Not affected by Maya, transcending, quote unquote, transcending Maya. That which supports Maya itself is Atma, and therefore called Paraṃ. Okay, and no Punya Papa, nothing. Punya Papa, we saw Viśuddhaṃ. Paraṃ here. Then what? Svataḥ siddham. That is also good. Svataḥ siddham. It is self-existent. Self-existent. Means what? Hey, everything, all along you are thinking pot exists, tree exists, house exists, Pluto exists, that galaxy exists and all that. Your existence is dependent on things. It is not like that. Your existence is a wrong understanding of existence. It's only limited understanding. Hey, this is svataḥ siddham. Always existing. Can you think of anything that is always existing and whose existence does not depend on anything else? Pot depends on clay for its existence. Table depends on wood for its existence. Wood depends on cellulose for its existence. Cellulose depends on so many carbon, oxygen and hydrogen for its existence. And that depends on something else for its existence. Then is there anything that does not depend on anything for its existence? Yes. Svataḥ siddhaha Atma. Or satyaṃ jñānamanantaṃ brahma is svataḥ siddham. Okay. So, Mahaswamiji says, Satyāṃ spurtau va para nirapeksham. Apeksha means expectation, dependence. Nirapeksham means independence, not depend on anything. Para nirapeksham. There para means another, not depending on anything else. Beautiful. That is called svataḥ siddham. Even our own operating of sense organs and all, if you see, you say it is tree, I see a tree. How did you see a tree? Okay, my eyes are required to see the tree. Okay, eyes are required. So that the idea of treeness is dependent on my eyesight. Then what about eyesight? Is that independent? No, eyesight also depends on the mind. Mind has to be there behind the eyes. Otherwise, this eyesight is useless. Really useless. That is why you have to tap at somebody's shoulder. Hey, are you listening to me or not? What are you watching? Did you hear what I said? What happened? A guy has ears, everything is there, working properly. Mind is not operating. That depends on mind. Then what? Does mind depends on anything else? That is what student is asking in Kena Upanishad. Kene shitam patati preshitam manaha. That is the question he is asking. Is mind dependent on something else? Or is the mind ultimate? What kind of questions these are? Yeah. Then that ultimate is this Brahma, Atma. Okay. Then what? So you can connect this svataḥ siddham with our praptasya praptihi. Why is it not apraptasya praptihi? Apraptasya praptihi is a result of karma. Gaining what is not yet gained. That is what the entire samsara is all about that. I want, I want, I want. I want what I don't have. That is apraptasya praptihi. But here is a unique situation where it is praptasya praptihi. Why? Because it is svataḥ siddham. Svataḥ siddham means praptam. Very much there. Independent of anything. That is why he is always there also. Alright, then what? Nityānanda. Nityānandaikarasaṃ pratyagabhinnaṃ. Nityanandaha. Okay, we just talked about all the experiential Ananda is all Anityananda. It is all Vishayananda. What about this Ananda? It is Nityananda. It is Avishayananda. Swarupananda. Look at all our Swami's names. They will call Swarupananda. Nityananda. That is the word he is using here. That is why translating this Sat Chit Ananda as existence, knowledge, bliss is a serious problem. Do you understand why it is a serious problem? It's because suppose somebody said, I had a blissful experience. What does it mean? It means it was an experience that is much better than all the experiences I've had before. Correct? So this guy is comparing this experience with something else. So these words that we have, joy, happiness, ecstasy, bliss, all these are words that are expressing different degrees of Ananda. Different degrees. And bliss is also one other degree of Ananda. But here he is talking about Swarupananda, which is not an experience which cannot be experienced, which is the cause of all experiences. How to talk about that? That is what he is saying, Nityanandaha. And then he says, Ekarasam. Ekarasam. Anything we know is a combination, is a thing with an attribute. Substance, attribute. Substance, attribute. This is our entire world. You will talk about the substance and you will talk about the qualities of the substance. Object. Tree. Tree means it's an object, but it has these kinds of attributes. These are the things that define a tree. Those defining attributes you will tell me. Define a tree, if you say, what will you say? You will have to say something. It must be a thick trunk, something like that you have to say. It will have leaves, it will have fruits, it will have flowers. It may have flowers, it may not have flowers. Like this you have to start putting ifs and buts. That is a tree. So a thing and its attributes. In Sanskrit they call the thing as dravya. Dravya. Attribute is what? Guna. Dravya, guna, dravya, guna, dravya, guna. Everything. But Atma is not dravya, guna. Atma is neither a material dravya nor it has attributes guna. How to express it? Ekarasam. That is the meaning of Ekarasam. Then what? Pratyagabhinnaṃ. Alright, this Brahma is abhinnam, non-different from Pratyagatma. That also we saw before. Pratyagabhinnaṃ. Nirantaraṃ jayati. Nirantaraṃ jayati. Literal translation, always wins. Jayati means wins, wins, winning, victorious, always victorious. Namaste astu bhagavan vishveshwaraya mahadevaya trayambakaya tripurantakaya trikalagni kalaya kalagni rudraya neelakantaya mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namah. What is this Mrityunjayaya? Mrityunjayati iti Mrityunjayaha. The one who wins over Mrityu is called Mrityunjaya, obviously. Jayati. There also word Jayati is coming. Jayati. One who has the last laugh. They say Yama has the last laugh. Yeah, temporarily you can say yes, but somebody else has the last laugh. Shankara is saying Brahma has the last laugh. Brahman, which is what Yama himself accepted in Kathopanishad. What did he say? Mrityoho yasya upasechanam. He says, yes, yasya brahmacha kshatram cha ubhe bhavata odanaha. The one for whom this Brahmin, Brahma, and kshatram, the kshatriya, means all peoples, is odanam, is food. Is a food, just a morsel like this. the one for whom. And yasya mrityoho yasya upasechanam. The one for whom even this Yamadharma Raja, which is me, who is teaching you now, and even that Yamadharma Raja is some kind of a pickle. Yama has been reduced to a pickle by Yama himself. And that is what he is saying. Kaita Veda Yatra Saha, something he says there. How can you not know this like that? He is saying. And so, that is this nirantaraṃ jayati. Alright, next class I'll give you the meaning of this sloka. Okay? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद.